that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk, the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk, the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk, the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk, the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
Welcome to the Tavern. We'll get to the topic and discussion in just a moment. Just want to let everybody know this is an adult show with adult topics, adult humor, and in other words, we drink, we smoke, we swear, and we laugh at things we probably shouldn't, but we do it together. For those listening to the podcast, we record the podcast on our live stream at twitch.tv/Travis Tavern Talk and have a live interactive chat audience. You might hear the sound of the bell, and that means I want to interrupt somebody to read a question or comment. For those on the live stream, we won't read off everything you put in chat, but we'll try to get to the most relevant or the most amusing, but hopefully some combination of the both. Now, while we introduce ourselves, go ahead and let us know what your vices are tonight. Okay, so pop those vices right down there into the chat, and hello! Hello! I'm Travis Tavern. I'm your host and author of apparently all of your memoir titles. As people tonight seem to be just grabbing everything I say and going, that'd be my memoir title. Which there's another great memoir title. If you don't already have one, that'd be my memoir title. You're welcome. My vices tonight is Jameson's Caskmates Stout. And I'm going to be doing a toast with that in a moment. They're already taking bets. There is a betting pool available to see if I remember. I'll be doing a toast with that in a minute or two. And tonight I'm going to be enjoying some vanilla Cavendish, C&D vanilla Cavendish, in a nice Savinelli Bing. I'm trying to make sure everybody can see it, so I'm holding it against my pale skin. There we go. Brand new pipe I just got today. And Otter's very excited about that, as you can hear. Okay. Considering our topic, which we'll be getting to in a moment, Ed, you go first.
Yo. Hi people, I'm Ed. Tonight I am enjoying a bottle of Menage a Trois Pinot Noir. Andrea.
Oh, me? Okay.
Yeah.
So.
We even let the women talk here.
Mm-hmm.
It skipped for a second. I wasn't sure.
We just interrupt them all the time.
And the black people.
In my earth-friendly, reusable Starbucks cup is tea that I made this afternoon. That's my advice.
You made a cup this afternoon? Where was I?
Right there beside me, not paying attention.
As you made a cup? Okay. So, Wordwin says, tonight's vice is some chilled, spicy tea with a splash of apple cider. And Tuesday says, I have never had a vice ever. I am a perfect angel, forever and always. Well, apparently Tuesday's never had any vices, but Tuesday has many other people's vice. So there you go. It all evens out. Now, for a toast, what do we got for a toast?
Toast it.
What'd you say?
Toast-it notes.
Toast-it notes. Here's the toast-it notes, which are notes to remind you to drink more.
I'll drink to that.
That's smooth and well-rounded. Like my ass. And Cogsley has thrown in... Why did Cogsley... Okay, no. Cogsley has thrown in, everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. Charles Dudley Warner. There we go. Thank you, Cogsley. It is raining here tonight, so... Our reception to the internet.
Anything about it.
That's right.
My sunflowers are growing so fast. So excited.
It's underscore just
Cool.
underscore a underscore nut cheered. X500.
Thank you for throwing your bits at us. It's just enough. Thank you so much for watching the show. Appreciate you being here.
You're welcome.
It's now our topic tonight is manscraping, which has a bit of a three-part journey to become from what it was originally suggested as to what it is now. It started out as Ed suggesting in our little private secret chat that you guys can't know about to do body scraping. And Andrea and I both went, what? And Ed went, bodyscaping, manscaping and stuff like that. But he put scraping instead of scaping.
It was autocorrect, I swear.
Okay. So, Ed, since you suggested the topic, let's give you a chance to kind of broaden our concept of what you're interested in talking about, and we'll totally interrupt and run it off the rails. Go ahead.
Well, I remember several years back, and this goes back to bodyscaping in general. Going to the beach with a friend, and she was talking about a new product that just came out. You use underarms when you have darker hair because it itches, it fades the hair, shave it off, it fades little bit stubbly things, so nobody can see that. And she thought, I need that. And I thought, wow. Are we taking this bullshit a little bit too far? Are we not allowing ourselves to just be human?
I don't know. Now, there's our base topic. I was about to answer the question, but yes, there's our base topic. I've always looked at health and beauty products. And Andrea, I dropped you another quick message this time on your in text messages. You want to check that information real quick? Andrea, did you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
I hear.
So I've always looked at health and beauty as, I don't know, almost ridiculous. When we look at how much money that women more so than men, but nowadays almost as much with men, but women kind of get the makeup thing going above and beyond what most men have. And it does feel ridiculous because as much as it's nice to accent yourself, whether it's with makeup or smells or... By the way, when you first said body scraping, what I thought you meant, Ed, is Demolition Man 3 Shells. Now, have you ever seen Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone?
Ages ago.
Okay. In the bathroom, they had 3 shells.
Tweeze their pubic hair shells or something?
No. They had, and give me just a second, I'm going to hand this over to Andrea real quick. I got it set up for you. Thank you, Andrea. The 3 shells were in the bathroom. Instead of toilet paper, they had 3 shells. And he was all like, oh my God, what are these 3 shells for? And they never explain it in the show, in the movie. But, being a history buff, I eventually learned that the Romans had a very similar thing, where they would have flat rocks or shells to basically scrape the shit out of your ass crack. Precisely. Wordwin says they use scrapers instead of bidets like civilized people. I don't know which one out of those 2 types are considered civilized, the scrapers or the bideters, but
I'll keep my bidet.
But yeah, this is... So I originally thought when you said body scraping, I'm like, are we going to talk about cleaning our ass a different way?
We're going to talk about shit again?
Welcome to the Tavern, where everybody poops. And some of us clean it the right way. So we're going to... What's that?
She unfroze.
No, she's switching over...
She froze and then unfroze.
Yeah, she was switching between internet sources. Tuesday has a bidet? Yeah, Tuesday. Can we take a moment and tangent over to bidets? Ed?
That shit's the bomb.
I have to disagree.
Go ahead.
Come on.
Well, all right, let me explain why. I have not used yours. Are you on well water, Ed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
In a
we
pressure
are.
tank, just like you guys.
Yeah. Well water is not consistent. And so one time it was like really a fire hose. Yeah, nope. That's bad.
Yeah, we get very the water pressure changes a lot. Andrea, real quick, check and make sure your computer doesn't have anything running in the background because you're still a little skippy for me over here. I just want to make sure we get the most Andrea we possibly can.
Absolutely.
You can get them with heated water. We just need them with like regulated water pressure because there's sometimes it's a gentle suggestion of cleaning your asshole, and there's other times it's a full-on colonoscopy, ass check.
Yeah, that.
Do you have the same problem, Ed? Where sometimes it's like, shh, just let it happen. Other times it's
every
like,
now and then, yeah. Yeah, every now and then it feels like a fire hose just got shoved up your ass.
yeah,
I know I'm clean.
it's true. And you will be for the next 36 hours. Hello, Trin, and absolutely Tuesday. Everybody
Hey,
can use a
Trin.
little more Andrea. Little more Andrea is what I like. A little more Ed in my life.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I would like one of the Japanese toilets, please.
Do you want to expand on that? Like the one with the radio that glows?
I've never used one, but I've heard marvelous things from Craig Ferguson.
Do you want the one that opens and
would like to
closes
try
with a remote control?
I don't care. Whichever one. I'm willing to try them all.
Oh, that's a piece.
That's how you get in trouble in Lowe's, by the way.
That's how you get in trouble. I don't get caught. But you know, that's why the toilets are on display up now instead of on the floor.
Gotcha.
Really?
A bidet adjusts the water pressure to the music you're adjust the water pressure to the music you're listening
that's
to.
bad.
Yeah. Don't clean your
Uh-uh.
ass to heavy metal.
Not my music.
And Word says with the dozen settings, air drying, heated water, and other user memory settings. Does that mean if your power goes out, you can't take a shit?
Well, you can. You just have to. You can't clean.
You can, yeah. Just have to do it the way the barbarian.
3 shells.
Oh, and I wanted to. Yeah, I wanted to talk about pictures, showing you exactly how to use it. You're welcome.
Give me one moment.
Is that what you're looking up now?
Nope. More behind the scenes. Hold on just a second. I'm going to break the show right now. Trin, you can do all the commands. I shut off the commands that you can't, that I don't want done. Okay? And hold on a second. I'm going to put a marker in there so I know to delete that. There you go.
Trin underscore music over cheered. X100.
And Andrea, once again, please make sure you have nothing running in the background because you're still super choppy.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay, you don't. Yeah, you don't have that. So, what were we talking about before we ran over to bidets?
She was going to tell us how to do something. Andrea will.
What are you going to tell us how to do?
I don't know.
You just said you want to talk about something, but you got chop, 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 chop.
Oh yeah, there's 3 shells. I looked it up.
Oh.
There's pictures.
I'm not into that type of.
It's just drawings, but still.
Go on.
Yeah, Tuesday, it is kind of like a WikiHow type thing.
To the
Out of
bidet
what
or
the
the
actual shell?
or to the body?
3 shells.
The 3 shells.
3 shells. Oh my god.
You
Does it sound as good as the soda commercials?
No. Almost like the bathroom commercials.
Oh, that's a fair point. It could be one shell. Ugh. It's like those nail files with like 6 or 7 different sides to it. I've got 7 shells because after I polish, I then buff. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'll show pictures.
So going back to the actual topic of man scraping, as opposed to ass scraping. So, okay, I think, and Ed, your final question before we went on this tangent was, is it getting to be too much?
Mm.
And pretty much since the beginning of human civilization, we've had some sort of body grooming to make ourselves more attractive to the opposite sex.
Well, yeah, picking the bugs out of your fur and eating them. Yeah.
Don't put that in your mouth.
That is not what we say nowadays. We're just, it's True Tuesday. I'm just saying to attract people. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I can't see. Okay. So there are.
Okay.
Wow. I'm sorry. For everybody on the podcast, we're looking at Andrea's pictures of using castanets to scrape out your asshole.
Okay.
And yeah, so you're welcome. So when Ed had put body scraping, I'm like, is it scraping or scrapping? Is he talking about guns, or is he what? And then I'm thinking, okay, speaking of the shells, why is my camera so blurry? Speaking of the shells, I know back before all of the things we have now, they used to take clamshell and pluck out the hairs. Just thinking, ow.
Well, I have a friend that said that she used to take tweezers and pluck the hair down there.
Well,
no.
if that's what you're into.
But she said she liked the smoothness, so no. Bye, Tren.
So there's
Good
a lot
night,
of people
Tren.
that wax. Bye, Tren. There's a lot of people that wax and do things like that, and it's not always because of the look. A lot of it is because it reduces body odor when you sweat. And I watched this show. I don't remember the name of it, but the woman was a reporter and she was at a strip club reviewing their buffet, and she was watching the dancers, and one of the dancers, they wear thongs, right? And she's like, well, I can never do that. I would be afraid I'd leave a stain. And they're like, that's why you wax. It's the difference between take some pudding and drop it on a smooth marble surface. You can clean it easier. Drop it in some grass, you got a mess. I'm like, that is a great analogy.
Of course, if you have a bidet, the point is null. Because that's how you get rid of dog shit in your yard. You hose it down. Go ahead, Ed.
Oops. She disappeared. Where'd she go?
I was just fixing my camera.
But you bring up a good point about the reducing smell. However, I am a pheromone type of guy. Now, I'm not talking about working out in the garden all damn day long. No, I'm talking about that nice little glow women smell. And it just dangles there on the tips of the hair. And yum. Swing, man. I eat that shit up, man. Yeah, I like. Yo, Gary.
Hey,
You came
Gary.
in at a good time.
Well, and that's good. That's good, you know. But what about? See, now I shave my armpits because, especially in the sun, not so much in the winter, but in the summer, like when I'm working and stuff. Ew. No amount of deodorant or washing can help. But that's me. And not everybody's like.
Travis is just sitting back, sucking a bite.
Now I'm thinking, there's certain personal grooming I'm doing. Like, obviously, I wax my mustache. I have a handlebar mustache.
Oh, absolutely.
So I wax that. I like to keep shaved on my face, neat and trim, because I just prefer it that way, even though, like, my goatee will grow down onto over my Adam's apple, and it drives me nuts. I don't like it. So I keep that neat and trim. Of course, my haircut, I keep it a certain way that I like it, nice and easy to maintain. When it comes to everything from the neck below, and by the way, in the past 5 to 10 years, I have now started shaving my ears, and in the past handful of years,
It happens.
my nose. But again, we can look at that same thing going, why bother? Isn't that ridiculous? This is the natural human. But I don't like it. I don't want it. I like it the other way. Word asked, why not handlebars around your danglies? I do have handlebar around my danglies. But it's not a mustache. It's just a handlebar for her to hold on. Wasn't easy getting that implanted.
That's one hell of a piercing.
It's true. But down below, now I'm not a swimmer. I don't feel any need to shave my arms or my legs. My chest I will shave. But not because it's super hairy, because it's barely hairy. And I get like 15 hairs around each nipple that then grow to like 3 inches long and tangle in my piercing. So I'm just like, fuck that. I'm removing those hairs just because I don't need to like suddenly be at work going, it's got my nipple again. And below the waistband, I shave my junk. Now for years I went, I'll never put cold steel to my balls. But eventually I got to a point where I'm like, I'm going to try this. And it feels cleaner to me. Even though I wash on a regular basis and use a bidet, I just like it better. And I know you used to.
I used to, yeah. When I did the whole social nudism thing, I used to shave my junk, and then after a while, it was like, because I'm a hairy guy, so it's like I'm walking around with this one clean spot shaving on my body, and the rest of it is just. Yeah, I'm not super hairy, but I'm a hairy guy. And it's like, okay, that looks weird. Stop doing that.
But
I mean, I still trim the bushes. But
yeah. Well, that's another thing. Even if I don't shave, I've just got to trim it down eventually because I just don't want this huge curly matted mess. Yeah, exactly. It's like Cthulhu with the penis nose. I don't know. But I've never been bothered by what anybody else does. It's frankly, when we're looking at sex, I'm happy to be having sex. I'm not too worried if it's shaved or not. The only time, and the real reason I prefer shaved when it comes to lady parts that I may be lucky enough to encounter, is because I love to go down. And there's a lot less to go if it's shaved.
There's a tactful way to do that.
Go on.
If you get the hair stuck on your tongue, you just lick the inside of the thigh and it'll come off. And you just...
No. You get it stuck around the uvula. It's like strangling the little dangly thing in the back of my throat. It's just like, I've got you, and I will take you out. Hold on. Some comments. Tuesday says, my friend Maggie and I used to help each other wax our legs. She won't do it since I accidentally kicked her in the nose. Yeah, I don't know if that accidentally is sarcasm or not. And Word says, from Blossom, when Six asked Blossom what a guy's junk looks like a tired half-bare Christmas tree. Hold on, I'm pausing to take in that visual real quick. Gary says, I'm taking you guys downstairs with me. I can only assume that means he's about to film him shaving his junk and send it to us.
Like a half-bare Christmas tree.
What the hell did... By the way, if you guys haven't seen it, a quick shout out for Andrea. What's the actress's name? Who played Blossom? Who played
Mayim Bialik.
One more time?
Mayim Bialik.
There.
Mayim Bialik.
She has a incredible podcast all of her own, and also a great show on Hulu called Call Me Cat. I Am Cat.
Call Me Cat.
About a woman around Andrea's age who opens up a cat cafe. Great show.
It's like a great role model for me.
It really is. And Gary says, I shave mine, but I use Nair. Works great. Does Nair hurt if you get it in your pee-pee hole?
Yes.
And by the way, for anybody that says, but you don't have hair all the way up the shaft, you know what? That's because you're under 30, motherfucker. You just wait. By the time you're at a certain point, you're just like, I'm like a dog. The hair goes...
Where'd that come from?
That's right. But don't worry, it's only 17 hairs along the whole shaft, and they're randomly placed.
You could just get a pair of tweezers.
It is. I agree, Tuesday. Tuesday says, I hate those long hairs. It's like getting a popcorn shell on the back of your tongue. I like lawns. I tend to be tastefully trim. I'm sorry, I like the lawns I tend to be tastefully trimmed. And that's reasonable, I think. But then again, you do you.
And see, I'm a child. I was coming of age in the 80s, and I just remember in the 80s, if you had mentioned to a chick, hey, why don't you shave? Are you fucking out of your mind? You some kind of freak or something? I ain't doing that. When that grows back, it's going to itch like crazy. And then slowly, the 90s came around. Mm-hmm. And now, in the new millennium, it's fashionable. Everybody shaves.
I disagree. It was about 5 or 6 years ago the trend started going in the other direction.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, it has turned around and it's going in the other direction. Yes.
But yeah,
I remember, I think it was in the late 90s or early 2000s, everybody was dyeing crazy colored.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, you can't pause after the word dying. Not during a pandemic. The fuck?
Dying from shaving?
So they were dyeing their pubes crazy colors? You remember?
Yeah, they were.
Now, when was this?
Late 90s, early 2000s, that era
Oh, apparently I wasn't
And
getting
they
laid during that era because that's when I was married.
Wah.
well,
So, but I did go to
and
like, mhm.
that's when all the things came out where they had like stencils for your pubic area to
Mm-hmm.
like you have a star or a heart. They had
Okay.
stencils for it.
Fun
That's like a
fact.
I
big
remember
thing.
the stencils.
No, we all know what a merkin is, right? Let me tell
American?
it
Yeah, me.
for our view. Merkin. No, merkin, not Merkin. Um,
Oh,
so a merkin back in the pre-French Revolution, after the Renaissance, basically rich people would shave their pubes and then pay for a pubic wig in different shapes, such as everything
right.
that's in Lucky Charms, apparently hearts, stars, etc. And they would paste them under their pubic region. So it sounds like, since we had better razors and whatnot, with the stencils, we eventually learned how to just do it out of our own.
They have well now there's like small electric trimmers, especially for women in the women's shaving section. Guys have it for their ears and their nose. Women have it for that. Also,
Oh, they
there
have
was
the
a trend.
manscaper too for men.
Yeah, I mean they have all
I've seen
kinds
it
of things now.
advertised.
You remember vajazzling?
Yeah.
Yes,
Now,
I remember. Yes,
I remember
I've
hearing
seen
about
it.
it. I have not
I've
seen
seen
it.
it.
So is it just like gluing little gemstones to your junk?
Little stickers, yeah.
Yeah.
They're stickers. Like when you sweat,
It's
they.
like what you do. It's like what you do with googly eyes.
Okay, you know, I've only put googly eyes on my junk once or twice. Hey, Draken official, raise a glass to the
Draken
bits being
official
thrown
cheered.
there. Good to see you, buddy.
X100.
We're just
Hey,
talking about.
just
Great
popping
time to
in.
come in.
Have a good stream.
That's right. You came in at the perfect time to be educated about people's junk throughout the ages. And by the way, we will talk about bodyscaping more than just our junk. This is just the most fun part to talk about. Perhaps the most painful to do. Don't get near in your pee-pee hole. By the
Well,
way, Tuesday. Sorry, Andrea. 1 second. Tuesday says I don't mind a little hair on my partner's, but if there's any chance that my mouth is going to touch it, tend to that stuff. And Wordwin says, and no glitter. What were you going to say, Andrea? Then we'll respond to their comments.
Well, you should respond to that because mine's a different, a different.
I agree with, in general, if you like somebody going down on you, make sure it's not going to poke out an eye, choke them out, or it's that in-between stubble. If it's not baby smooth or grown out about a 1/4 inch or more, you're in a bad state for oral sex to be performed on you because that shit hurts. Of course, if she's going all the way down and getting, a razor burn from your stubble, she's either very talented or you have a lack of talent. But that's okay because it's a matter of how you use it. That's what they keep telling them. Ed's like, nope, she's just talented. It was that sword swallower. My wife. What's the third finger for, Ed? None of your business. To go from ooh to ah. That's what the third finger is. Anyhow.
So,
Yes.
moving a little further north,
Probably best.
a big trend I notice is eyebrow.
Okay, yeah, let's
And-
talk about that, because Tuesday earlier said she used to pluck between her eyebrows.
Well, and not so much this year, but there was a year when people were drawing in and accenting their unibrow.
Yeah, I remember that.
What was that, like 1652? When was this?
A couple of years
No,
ago.
yeah, just a few years ago.
Were they doing it ironically?
I don't know. I had a friend that actually she would shave her eyebrows off, then draw them in all the way across. With
Did she draw them in
unibrow.
like the golden arches so she looked surprised or put on the clown makeup?
No,
Okay.
it's a thing because you remember the artist Frida. I don't remember.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know how to say the last name.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of like a thing like that, and they're like, own it, because there's a lot of women that had that, and they're just like, screw it, be natural, accent it, and they do that. And I remember, I think it was the 90s or whatever, really thin eyebrows, like in the 20s, really thin, and then lately they become really prominent.
Oh,
and
they
fill
are.
them in and make them bigger.
And by the way, I
Yeah.
like both. Whether they make them pencil thin or whether they just make them very deep and impressive, I like both, depending on the person and their style. I think both are very interesting to look at.
I just hate it when you have that one eyebrow that's like.
And why is it as long as that nipple hair I have? Or that one
And you
hair
see it-
just below my
You
wrist?
see it while you're driving down the road.
Mm.
See it while you're driving down the road after you've already been somewhere, and you look up in the rearview mirror, and damn, was that there an hour ago? Shit.
No.
No, it just grew in. But also, you ever get that one on your forearm that's just, it's like 4 inches long, and you're like, how did I not notice that before now?
And Wordman says, I like eyebrows with hair. Drawn on freaks me out. I have seen some great artists, makeup artists, where they draw on eyebrows and it looks like individual hairs. Like on Instagram, they took a potato and they did the makeup. Yeah, it's so funny. And they drew in
Hold on,
eyebrows and lips.
Wait, peeled potato or not peeled?
Not peeled.
Go on.
But they put makeup on it and drew in these eyebrows, or people would do it on
Wait,
their arm. And
I got another question. Red potato or Idaho?
Idaho.
It's a russet.
It's a Russian.
But I mean, like I mentioned this. It's crazy this comes up because I talked to one of my coworkers yesterday. I'm like, your eyebrows look great. What do you do? And they draw on and they do things, and it looks natural, but it's not. If you look real close, you could tell. It's just amazing what people do.
You know, my biggest problem with bodyscaping, for me personally, is the time it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
I got
I'm a
time.
minimalist. I got better shit to do than spend an hour. And by the way, for anybody who spends a half hour to an hour putting on makeup every day, good for you. God, I hope you look decent, because that's a lot of fucking time, and I respect the time you put into it, so I hope you look good and feel better for it. So there's no criticism here, but oh my God, I'm a lazy monkey, and I'm not going to do that shit. See, Ed heard that, did he?
Every once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
every once in a while, I will do my makeup, but I don't care. And now I'm noticing guys. There's actually guys that do makeup, and it looks natural. And there's some that do the beauty makeup, but then there's some that do it and cover up tattoos and just make their skin look better. That's talent. That's dedication.
I agree.
And I've seen guys. A lot of guys are taking more pride in their appearance, and they're trimming their eyebrows and doing the thing.
Do you remember in the early 2000s, there was something called metrosexual? And all this was guys who
I've been
took a
accused of
little...
that.
What's that?
I've been accused of that.
So have I, definitely. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm being mocked for caring about my personal hygiene and appearance? Because I got a haircut and a shirt without wrinkles, you're gonna tease me?
Yeah.
And by the way,
That's really stupid.
It is. It's one of those things. Here's what I'm going to say. Going back to Ed's original question of, are we going too far? If it makes you feel good, it's worth it. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But if you're doing it to make other people feel good, you're doing it wrong. So, I'm going to shave my junk because I like it. And I've gone to Andrea before and went, do you like this hairstyle? Do you like it, the mustache with or without the goatee, or the full bushy beard that I like to get one day when I grow up? Or do you like my junk shaved or not? And she's like, I don't actually fucking care. And I'm like, well, damn it, now I gotta make up my own mind.
Well, it's like, what makes you happy? What makes you feel good? Because that projects too.
See, that's what I've told Andrea too, because there's times in winter where she's wearing long pants and she's like, oh, I didn't shave my legs. I'm like, oh, I didn't notice. It's okay. Doesn't bother me. Unless...
Yeah, that's
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Travis.
No, go.
ahead. When Teresa and I got together 15 years ago now, because Teresa's a bit of a hippie chick. She probably shaves her legs 50% of the time, shaves on her underarms about 25% of the time. And when we got together, because I guess it was something her ex liked,
Hmm.
I just remember a conversation. She was like, I shave, and I think she thought that I was going to go nuts because I shave. It's like, oh, okay. And then in a later conversation, it's like, I really don't care about that shit. Be whatever type of way you want. She's like, really? Oh my God, thank you. Because she's a hairy girl, so it takes her a while. So,
I think the bottom line is, and I'm going to end up repeating myself. Okay, Gary, we'll see you soon. Um, the bottom line is, if you feel good about it. Now, I will ask, keep it neat enough that if there is, and the only exception is oral sex. That's my only exception to these rules. Is if I'm going down on you, have either of you ever gone down on a woman and there's so much hair it's actually interlocked over the vaginal lips where you can't get to anything? And you're just like,
no, because that means it's probably got crust or something in it, and I'm not doing that.
see, and you put your finger and you pull it apart, and she's like, ow, and you're like, this is the issue.
That's when you need to go shower or.
Yeah.
So that's, but other than that, because frankly, if I'm going to go down, it's easy enough to go part them, spread them. I can get to the goods. So it's only the random hair that's like, Geronimo! Wait, am I allowed to say that anymore? Is that wrong now? Bonsai! Nope, that's wrong too.
Wrong.
Here I go!
Yep,
I don't
that's
know.
wrong.
I'm fucking jumping! Wait, that's anti-suits.
Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy, that's what pubes yell now when they jump into a mouth. Leroy Jenkins! Tuesday says, I only do makeup if I'm going on a date, but my sister-in-law will do an hour's worth of makeup even if she isn't leaving the house. I've dated girls on both extremes. Do whatever makes you feel pretty. Confidence is the most beautiful thing. Agreed.
Yeah.
Wordwin says about that random pube, I think it's more like, hey, y'all, watch this. Hold my hair beer.
So, like, cleaning and scraping and scaping and doing all the things, that's great. Sometimes I'm tired because I work too much. Not lately, but, in past, work so much that I just roll out of bed, throw on clothes, and go to work. Sometimes I forget deodorant. Those are the times when I get hit on the most.
Pheromones.
Yeah.
I told you. Pheromones.
I smell. I'm sweaty. I don't.
Mm-mm.
And the guys are
Yum.
leaning in, and they don't even know it. It'd be different, I guess, if it was like the metrosexuals leaning in on her, but it's like the skanky guys.
It's like you go that way.
But yeah, I think it really is. It's a matter of what gives you confidence. And I think most of us, with minimal, not hygiene, but bodyscaping, can be pretty. It's definitely not derogatory to not have extra, but I feel there's times where I put on the extra hat or put on the jewelry or Andrea does her makeup because we're going out to do something and we want that little extra pop.
Oh yeah.
And
Teresa's not a makeup girl. You both have met her. You know that too. She probably wears makeup 4 times a year, and when she does, it's like, wow.
yeah,
And I don't think it would be the same if she did it every day.
I agree.
Yeah.
But some people, and by the way, let me also point this out. Part of bodyscaping can also be tattoos and piercings.
Yeah.
This is a more permanent type of bodyscaping, but you are accenting your body in one way or another.
Well, I'm very decorated.
There we go.
Yes, you are.
Like a hero in a war, except it's not all on our left breast.
Well, I mean, the piercings, when I get tired of them, they can all come out. Whatever. You do what you want.
Okay. So we have a few minutes left. Let's talk about extreme body scale. You know what? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about high heels. Because high heels, which, by the way, for any action movies, stop putting your women in high heels. There's a reason the military doesn't issue high heels, okay, people? There's a reason wrestlers don't wear high heels. Okay, I just said that, and now I remember in the 80s, I don't know about now, but women would wear, like, platform heels.
Some of the men would too.
That's true.
Have you been watching Falcon Winter Soldier?
No. Well, we watched the first episode, and then we set it aside because we want them all in before we watch the rest.
Right.
So, do they have a woman in heels?
Oh no, it's Sam.
In heels? Do he's in heels?
Okay.
Does he comment on that? Because even just running down a flat sidewalk, that sidewalk comes up a quarter inch. You could be tripping because of that shit. Yes. So Tuesday says the sweat thing has science behind it. People are more likely to choose partners that seem capable of providing for a family. Sweat is an indicator of willingness to perform difficult tasks, and high heels raise the buttocks in a mating type position, so instinctually. Okay. And by the way, originally men wore high heels. It was a male fashion in the courts of Europe, and women. Just like dresses, well, skirts, etc., were originally a male fashion, and the women picked it up to follow the male fashion, rebellious or whatever, and then they got stuck with it.
Same with the makeup and all that other stuff. Originally, men did that.
And wigs.
So the guys would say, "Oh, I'm not going to wear makeup. I'm not going to." You know who started it?
The friend.
Powerful men who had extra time and money and wanted to look different and stand out. So,
Well, and if you look, I'm sorry.
No, go on.
I was gonna say, going on that, where men started it started out with men. If you look at it now, I'm seeing a lot of men wearing makeup and wearing dresses and heels and things again. So who knows? Maybe it'll flip again.
Maybe it will. It'll take a while. It won't
I'm
be.
not wearing no damn romper.
No money. No matter how many we have anonymously sent to his house. Especially that USA flag romper. Word says high heels were a combination of stability on horses and keeping the top of the boot out of the shit all over the streets. I haven't heard that, but I won't argue that. Because it doesn't sound unreasonable. I'm sure it also had to do with height and being taller than the other men. Because it is proven that taller men are more often in leadership positions. Not always, but more often. Tuesday asked, didn't makeup originate as insect repellent in ancient Egypt?
That sounds good, but I don't know.
I don't think so. I know Egypt, of course, had makeup. We all do, Word. At some point in time, we all imagine Ed in a bunny romper.
I am right now.
And by the way, I think you're thinking of the onesie, like from A Christmas Story.
Christmas Story.
A romper is the shorts and t-shirt combo that's all one piece with buttons all the way, like what we put 2-year-olds in. And,
so when you have to go pee, you have to take it all off.
And it was about 3 years ago. They hit spring fashion runway, men's rompers, and boy, that shit crashed and burned real quick.
But you could find them everywhere for a while.
Yeah. And by the way, I don't see them as functional clothing for women either, by the way. It's a bad piece of clothing.
No, actually, a lot of women really like them because they're easy to wear and they're light and they're fun. The only thing is you realize how crappy it is when you have to go pee because
Right.
you gotta
You gotta strip down to your skivvies.
Yeah. But other than that, a lot of women really like them.
You suddenly feel like a 3-year-old. And heaven forbid, it's a lot of little buttons and you gotta go bad.
Yeah, but with a romper, usually you just take it off the shoulders and pull it down.
But you gotta unbutton it all first.
She's saying like a spaghetti strap romper. Yeah.
Oh,
baby.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Like,
Is that what you prefer to wear,
not
Ed?
full.
But for
I'm
anybody,
not telling.
for anybody on the podcast, Ed is a big, broad-shouldered guy. So just imagine him in a spaghetti strap romper. Yeah.
Oh yeah, a bunny one.
Could be
Yeah.
interesting that
Oh,
night.
I can imagine a romper with just a little hood on it, because they have those, right?
They do. Sleeveless one. And see, Ed wouldn't have to work out a hose and funnel system. Just right through the leg.
Yeah, Tuesday said, according to Women's Romper, work out a hose and funnel system, and Word says, new use for a wet vac. Why was she in there 20 minutes? We don't ask. But between the bidet and the wet vac, she's gone a long time. I'll be in the bathroom when she's done. Looking for the pheromones.
Oh my No.
Oh. Okay.
I think we need a toast-it note.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do the two. We'll do one from us. I've got one if you guys don't have anything.
I got one. Here's to rompers.
Well, there we go. We'll drink to rompers. All my pheromones are in the wet vac now.
Oh.
Well, where do you think we're going to put our junk once the pheromones are being searched for? Right into the wet vac. It's wet and it sucks. It's the perfect date. And mine is, however much man scraping you do. Oh. Word says reverse the motor and spray them out again. Whatever level of body grooming you do, just feel better when you're done. Feel confident, because as was stated earlier and as we've said many times here in the tavern, confidence is the sexiest thing there is. Here's to feeling beautiful. Okay, I guess we can wrap this show up. Do we need a quote from Cogsley to see what stupid shit he says? So we can drink again.
Do you have one, Ed?
I have no.
Okay.
And yeah, Cogsley.
Apparently Cogsley doesn't. Oh, there it is. No, we don't want that. We've used that too often. It's like he has his favorite 20 quotes out of like the 100 I have loaded. Can't type. There we go. Everything is changing. People are taking their comedians seriously and their politicians as a joke. Will Rogers. We'll go with that one.
Yes.
And everything is changing. So the next time you see somebody who's dressed differently, built differently than you're used to, how about taking a moment to
Wearing a
appreciate? Let's do some outro shit. Come on. Here we go. Before we go, I want to remind everyone that you can email us at talktothetavernshow@gmail.com to let us know your thoughts on the show's topic, suggest another topic that you'd like to hear us discuss, or just have us read a message out on air to someone in your life. Thanks for supporting the show by downloading the podcast, sharing it on social media, grabbing some shirt stickers and mugs from bit.ly/tavern merch, or barware patches and hats from bit.ly/tavern merch 2. That's bit.ly/tavern merch or tavern merch and the number 2. Thanks to everyone who joined joined us live at twitch.tv/Travis Tavern Talk, and everyone who supports the Tavern by subscribing, hosting, throwing bits, raids, and most of all, commenting. Thanks for joining us in the discussion shenanigans tonight. You are the one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the Tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day and steamy dreams every night.